What do you got there, M8? You found the treasure?
Treasure?
Just kill them both and take it.
Zafrey Elektra. Your friends.
M8.
Oh, they're me.
M8. I don't know. No, M8. I don't know them.
Your friends, my captain.
M8. Good. I do not know these. I do not know these jellies.
You shouldn't be here. This is a sacred place. Get out! Get out! Out of the way, synthetic. What's this? This one has a mind. What are you? No! Get out of my...
They're in her mind, M8. We need to leave now before they...
I don't see a cord.
Whoa! Oh! Careful there, my friends. That thing almost fell on me.
Blood from either. That one went down easily.
M8, I've left one song, and I will not fall into their silence ever again. M8, we need to go now.
M8 can't just... No primary objective, no destination. We found the treasure. We found Gloria's treasure.
Well, now we need to find home. M8, take us home.
Searching. M8 don't have a home.
M8, I don't have a home either. Find one. Find us a home.
M8 inputting. Objective. Find home. Clear the path. Clear the way.
Hello and welcome, everybody. We're back. It's part tray of
Oh my days, we're here and it's day 3 of Z-Day.
It
It
us,
is.
the Backwater Bastards. I'm your Dungeon Master Dick. With me today is the man, the myth,
The bogan.
the bogan. You fucking bogan.
Oh, yes.
It's Daniel, aka Zafrey Elektra.
Oh, and
Z himself.
This jelly is a scared jelly, a terrified jelly, a I want to get out of here jelly.
Mood.
And joining us away from her usual body, it's Taylor.
That's my thing.
Playing the tiny semi-indestructible synth known as M8.
Indeed. That's me. Indeed, it.
And leading us on this adventure, as always, is the greatest doppelganger of them all, DM Dick Dynamite.
Banana.
So hey guys, we are back. We're episode 3. I mean, I think we just want to get right
Let's
into this
get into
one,
it.
right? Like,
Yeah.
if you need a catch up, you probably didn't listen to the last 2 episodes. Let's be
Probably
real.
didn't.
You got to listen to Z-Day from the start. So go back and listen to those first 2. We're just going to get into things.
You got to listen to Z-Day from the start, but like the start, we lead in, right? Because is the start Z-Day 1 or is the start Neapolitan ice cream?
You don't know.
That's the question.
You don't know. If you know, you know.
Regardless, Z and M8 have just found the treasure, and it is some sort of magnificent crown.
Can you believe that we did
I
that?
know. We nailed it.
Well done. Well done.
Unfortunately, they've
here it
been
is.
closely followed by M8's former pirate captain, flanked closely by 5 floating red Atolla Medusa, singing a song unlike any Z has heard before.
Mm-hmm.
This is very unfair
Nope. We're outnumbered.
that this could happen to us.
Before there's even sort of any opportunity for them to even really decide what to do, the angel, the strange ancient synth that had led you here to this weird ancient synth factory, attempted to attack the interlopers and was just taken down by a psychic blast from the Atolla Medusa. The 5 of them in concert, easily able to just tear those strange digital brainwaves out of her head, and she has just collapsed, seemingly deactivated, dead on the ground.
Uh-oh.
I hope those words seemingly mean something later on, because that is shit.
Well, heck.
And so we rejoin our heroes, having decided that the better part of valor is discretion,
We running.
and that the better part of discretion is just getting yourself home. And if you don't have a home, then you just got to run in a random direction till you find one.
Yep. That sounds good.
Sounds good.
And so with M8, just getting down, like, I'm thinking like football defender style.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, linebackering it.
You know that there's like a little tech moment. There's like a like when a truck, like, guess who doesn't know about trucks?
they transform.
Yeah, that.
Autobots,
First of all, that. But like, you know how it does like a beep, beep,
Oh,
beep, beep,
hydraulics?
beep, and then maybe that. Maybe that's what I'm trying to do. But that's like a city moment. That's like a lowrider.
Mhm.
Maybe this is like a lowrider moment.
Rider.
She goes,
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Mhm.
We're getting ready to clear the way. And like we've talked about clearing the way, but what is it really?
Well, let's.
What is it really?
ping, 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 ping.
You seen that bullet from Super Mario?
Yes. Love it.
That.
You imagine a skateboarder holding onto a taxi and just
Yeah.
hitching a ride? That is
That.
Z right now.
Oh, I like
I've
that.
got the tracks on freewheel mode, and I am holding on.
Ching, take it out of gear.
And we are going for this ride.
M8, get us out of here. We cannot be around. They've taken down the angel, and they're coming for us. Let's go.
M8, clear the way.
And so, running in a random direction, but not directly towards the enemy,
Indeed.
it does mean going deeper into the caverns. Which
What?
is exactly the direction you must start running.
Are you kidding
Oh,
me, man?
convenient.
All right.
Railroading.
Choo choo.
I'm aboard. Come on, ride the train.
I can only assume.
I can only assume that you wanted to
You're
go
not-
to chapter 3.
I can only assume if you're not charging straight through the enemy, you're running deeper into
Do
this
you
cave.
want to press A or
Yeah.
not?
Would you like to go this way that you have chosen, or this way? Plot.
or did you mean you're going to clear the way through the enemy? Because that's
No.
Nope.
Let's,
Also
let's,
a
do,
fun-
let's do your way.
Nope.
That sounds
also a
good.
fun choice.
We're going
We're going straight into
Yeah, nah.
going,
Yeah, nah.
going straight
Nah,
into
yeah.
your plot, Kevin.
We will bullet straight through something safe, right?
Yeah.
Right, Dick?
Wonder,
Right,
I wonder
Dick?
what he's been working on that could be filling this plot cave.
What's he building in there?
We have a right to know.
So as M8 begins just clearing the way, smashing clutter out of the path and
NPCs flying
dragging
in every direction that are unused throughout the Orbital Refuse story. Sorry, my last one.
dragging Zafrey Elektra, Z. Dragging Z. I'm gonna keep calling him
I'm
Z.
hearing music from that movie Oliver and Company right now.
Dragging Z behind, who's sort of like wheeling and sort of bumping about. Remember, you're at quite low gravity, so Z sort of whoops quite far off the ground every time.
Z is getting
hits a bump.
air. Z is getting air on these ollies.
I don't mind as long as we get out of here.
And yeah, the only real way is basically at the back of this cavern. It's a big door, but it is kind of filled with debris, which M8 just has to haul out of the way, charging through.
Yes.
M8, once reaching a suitable amount of speed, is able to just barge through these things, just send them off to the side, and Z is carried through the generally safe path. Meanwhile, behind you, the pirate captain takes aim with a blaster rifle and fires.
No, baby.
Oh, what's that mean?
Can't be doing that.
That means a
Oh,
hit, unless you guys
Are you kidding?
unless
what?
you guys are able to do anything about it.
Well,
well, hold on.
I couldn't be doing
It's like
a
on the 15.
telepathy because we're already running. Wait,
Oh, wait, let me think.
maybe
for a
actually I
second.
could have done a telepathy because I could have seen that they were following. So I'm going to do a quick telepathy, try and shield ourselves while this.
I mean, because you're not really doing
Yeah.
anything. Like you're free to defend. Like while M8 clears the way. That's the beauty of having an
Do
M8.
I see that
So-
they're attacking us? That he's taking aim?
Yeah, I mean, he's picking up his rifle, aiming it, taking a shot.
Right. I will do a telepathy to try and make him miss, I guess.
This is like yelling right when someone golfs.
Yeah, basically.
Is that fair, or do you want me to? Maybe I could grab a rock. No, okay.
I feel like that's a thing.
Nah, do it.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. That's Z could be doing shit like this all the time.
Oh no, it's only a 12. Doesn't beat his 15. Okay.
It's too bad that you can't use M8 like a Pringles can to get a better Wi-Fi signal. Okay, here's the thing. While M8 is going, M8 is kind of like motor humming the legacy code.
That's cute.
And it's creating echo.
And it's creating an advantage roll.
I'm afraid it's not.
Well, it is.
Dick is like,
But,
I'm glad that you guys remember your one
it's
trick, which is
called-
asking for advantage.
It's called collaborative storytelling, and it is.
And your failures really do help with the storytelling.
But we don't fail
Great,
in
well,
this moment because collaborative storytelling says that we read.
I have a question, though. If I took the shot, would it be better because I'm strong?
Yeah, 100% yes.
You can use my body for this.
Well, I was using telepathy. I wasn't using a shot.
No, we are gonna get shot, baby.
Oh.
Like M8 is a tank. Like M8 should be the one taking the damage.
M8 is gonna take some hits, I guess, if I can.
So the pirate captain, it's all happening in slow motion, is like taking aim, ready to pull the trigger. Z coming in to try and just throw that aim off, fires a telekinetic blast. But the captain sort of shruggles that off, aiming in and pulls the trigger.
M8, they're firing!
Slow-mo scene.
Zafrey Elektra.
If M8 rip Z round to the front and like take the blast, I think that's a strength roll. If we're going to be
Zafrey Elektra. Brace.
Bracing!
Spin mode.
What is spin mode?
Yeah,
16!
Oh, 16.
M8!
M8 lifts Z right off the ground, spins about.
This is some R2D2 shit.
Presenting their back, hugging full-on bodyguard mode around over Z's fishbowl.
I'm Mariah?
And takes the shot,
I will always love you.
taking 5 points of damage, which
Oh, Mariah!
we're lucky it's M8 that took that, because Z would not have survived it.
Okay, so I was at 15 and I'm at 10 now. Okay,
Yeah, M8's a tanky sort.
Damn.
let's go. Let's go, baby.
M8, you're hurt. M8, they hurt you.
Nah. Zafrey Elektra. We are unique. We serve no man. We clear the path.
M8, you are doing a brilliant job of clearing the path, but while you do that, I'm going to fix that hole.
And I'll get straight to try and do some
try and
like
do
on the go
some
fucking engineering to try and like heal that, like patch up that hole.
Buff that out.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the
So
Bondo?
as M8 sort of like resumes running, and yeah, the captain is like, taking that shot, cursing, having like lost all this ground, you guys sprinting away, puff and chase after. The jellies just hovering, moving towards you through the air, each one of them in their own little sphere of water. Inexorable, just coming closer and closer. Not at any great speed, but not significantly slower than you're running.
I changed my idea,
I'm sorry, mate, that patch is going to have to hold 1 moment.
and I am going to blast out another telepathy wave to try and keep us hidden, I guess. Try and mask. Actually, no, it would just be, they'd still see us. Just an attack then.
Blast their song or try and identify which one of them you want to take out.
I've got 2 energy left. I want to use one of them to just cause a ruckus amongst them with telepathy.
Bring the ruckus. Bring the motherfucking
It's a 21.
ruckus.
It's a 16 plus 5. I'm just going to just yell out.
Your song will not interrupt here. We will not be taken in by you. You will not sing freely here.
I've rolled
Yes.
to defend against that, and I've only rolled a 12.
Yes.
It's
So these
opposite
5
day.
jellies, visually, it's just 5 of them in a row just hovering
that's terrifying.
along. And they all look pretty similar as far as M8's concerned. Z can see that they're all like completely different looking. Like this, yeah.
Wow.
Hey,
Every Atolla Medusa looks significantly different to the last one.
M8 has only got so many, like 64-bit, baby.
Yeah.
You know,
But,
maybe 16-bit.
More than that, Z sees with more than just eyes. In fact, Z doesn't really see with eyes at all. So Z can see the interconnecting between them, the song, and he fully understands how this works because he grew up in it.
Yeah.
And although he grew up in like a massive, 1 million strong song, the 5 of them still have this tight link, and there's strands going from them, which is where their powers come from. You can see that legitimately only one of them is actually telekinetic, and they're all utilizing the song to fly like that. So just breaking the song is enough to really throw a spanner in the works for them. And as Z shoots in, before they're even anticipating it, they haven't really had to deal with other Atolla Medusas before, as far as you can see. They attempt to defend, but they're not ready.
I don't think you're
And this is
ready
the moment.
for this jelly. I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
We're not.
4 of them just flop onto the ground. The water oars that they're floating in just like turning into puddles as their connection to the song is severed in an instant. And 4 Atolla Medusas flop onto the ground, letting out horrified yells of surprise as the one who's left with their telekinetic powers intact is staring you down.
And you dare break the song.
But it's definitely slowed them down as Z can sense the song reforging, those jellies awkwardly dirty, covered in just grime and mud, floating themselves up, reforging dirty water bubbles, which are much smaller than they were before. It's half the water soaked into the ground.
That's worse than a
around them.
wound, to be fair.
As they hoist themselves up into the air, as you guys go round.
This is stage 2 of the boss fight. God damn.
As you guys go through the door and round the corner, out of sight of your pursuers.
M8. M8.
Yeah. Zafrey Elektra.
I may have made them angrier. I was scared. M8, I was. Look. How fast can we go? Because they're coming back, and
Nah, you want a rocket?
M8, I cannot go back to that song. Or any song, or anything that would call themselves a chorus, or a harmony, or any type.
Yeah, nah.
It just.
Yeah, nah.
I cannot.
And while I do that, you know, kind of like the overly invested hairdresser that is talking too much and is sharing too much of their own lives while they do it. I'm just trying to take out all my anxiety by patching up the last of this hole. What type of
You want to give me a cheeky little engineering roll on the side?
It's not something.
It's just a D20
D20 for me
Z.
because I don't have any kind of skill in it. But oh,
What have you
just a 2. Fail.
He's a meat doctor.
He's a meat doctor. So
You know?
Z is sort of like tinkering away, trying to fix M8, but
Instead, he's just engraved him.
it's just really cosmetic fixes, just like bang a thing on there. It's like it's not doing anything for the armor. It's certainly not doing anything for the workings.
But that's me out of energy. I've used all my energies this round until it comes back round to Z.
Well, we're kind of out of round
Oh, okay.
because we're not in a fight anymore. You guys are out of line of sight. They're chasing. They're licking their wounds. But as you come around this corner through this door and you're in what seems to be like a kind of partially naturally carved hallway, but it seems to be following some sort of natural structure.
Oh.
As it curves around, and every now and then the cave opens up into these big, almost spherical openings, and it's quite dark. You're now relying on your own light sources. You just race around this corner, getting deeper into this catacomb, whatever it is.
Zafrey Elektra.
M8.
M8 is not clearing the way anymore.
M8,
The way is clear.
No. We are
This is a path.
We are not safe, M8. We cannot be safe while they're on our back. M8, we need...
This is a straight.
Well, we need to keep going. M8, Did you see what they did to the angel back there?
But M8, how?
They are like me. They alone, not much. But they together, they sing in a way that amplifies everything around them, and they, with just 5 of them, took down that angel.
Scramblers.
M8, we are just 2. There is no way we can beat them. We need to run. We need to get off this rock to the other side of the galaxy if we have to. We need to go. We can't hide from this.
As Z is laying all this out, he begins to feel a little bit of a tickle at the corners of his mind. As the telepathy is coming in hard and fast. I've only rolled a 9, so it's like a sharp attack that doesn't quite penetrate the mind. Doesn't penetrate Z's natural defenses, but he can feel the unity of these 5 jellies.
M8, they are trying to find us right now as we stand here. M8, they're coming. We need to go. I don't know how to fight it.
Wait. Zafrey Elektra. Plug in to M8. Like you did to Gloria. You have a cord. M8 saw it.
Yes.
M8 saw it. Plug in. M8 can scramble too.
I warn you, this is terrifying.
And I will plug into M8 and share the telepathy that I'm feeling from the red jellies.
And as far as M8's concerned, it is, I guess, like a digital representation of this layering, moving in sensation of the song. As far as Z's concerned, it really is like coming in behind. But M8 gets more of like a top-down visualization, like a little computer game, like here's the thing, here's you kind of thing. It's a little bit disconnected to a being that doesn't have a brain.
So M8 can identify it almost like a coded message.
Yeah, it comes across just purely academic. There's no feeling behind it and there's no sense of self within it.
The song.
Basically, the way M8 sees the song is very detached. It's not in the same frightening way that Z feels it coming onto his self. Like M8 can just observe it, almost from like an exterior position.
Zafrey Elektra. Nah. M8 see it. It's just a virus. A tiny virus.
What?
M8 see it, this song. A virus. M8 sees the song.
Well, how do we get away from this bloody virus song then?
M8 make a bigger virus.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah, nah, yeah. That is mint. Dead set. M8 make a bigger virus.
Well, how long do you need, M8? Because they are coming.
Right now.
And it's just like a hum at first.
Just that sort of beep, 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 beep. That familiar beeps and baps, the digital code, that psychic static version that Z can interpret through his telepathy of the legacy code.
The angel gave us the virus. We give it back. We are unique. We are built from the same, but we are not the same. We serve no masters.
Over and over and over.
Just the reaffirmation of that basic synth principle that M8 somewhere along the line lost sight of, becoming an indentured servant, essentially. An object on the ship that was, just derised and treated as though they didn't really matter, as though their needs weren't particularly important, and certainly that they were not some sort of individual with their own desires. But that part of M8 is still there in the background, because M8 is a perfect recreation of the originator. M8 is a synth, and having had that woken up, there's maybe a little bit of a fire, and it's enough that it is this sort of the slowly building thing.
Yes!
So when it gets plugged into Z can feel it, and Z
Z's
can
getting
feel
the juice.
Z
Z's
can
getting
feel
the
the
juice.
enthusiasm behind it. And although Z doesn't feel it the way a synth would, much like how M8 views the song academically from an outside perspective, Z again feels this code as an outsider and has to apply some context to it. Z has to be like, I know what this means. Every time I hear this, every time it repeats, every time it loops, every time M8 reaffirms it, M8 is telling me and telling themselves
Yes!
that we are individuals and we serve no master, and we are fine that way. And it is actually the anti-song. It is the opposite of what the jellies do. And as such, Z is somewhat steeled against these attempts that come in this unified way. As you flee down this dark corridor, you can hear just the lone footsteps of the captain sort of like running along and swearing and cursing and tripping in the dark behind you. And you can't hear a single thing from the 5 jellies, but you can still feel that encroaching song. And because of the link that you've made through Z's little hacking cord, M8 can visualize as well the proximity of these jellies. And they are hovering along at a speed where they will not quite catch you. So as you're whipping around corners, you can feel them whipping around the corner behind you. And you never quite catch sight of them as M8 clears the path, sort of knocking debris out of the way. Until all of a sudden, you sort of burst out into an area that is lit once again and have to stop very suddenly as the path drops at a sheer face. No. There's like a cliff in front of you, and you're opened up into a big open cavern. And above you, there are cracks in the earth, and light is shining through from outside. And you can see this big cavern. It drops down far. It drops down in this dark. You can't even see how far it drops down. But there is a ledge that goes around to the left, off into the darkness, that looks like it might go around to the other side of this chasm.
How much of a drop is it towards there? How much of a jump are we talking?
There's not really a jump, more of a sort of a sneak to it. Like you've kind of either you got to jump like a few meters, or you've just got to sort of like edge along the side of the wall really slowly and carefully.
2 meters, okay.
Enemies, do you feel them coming?
Mate, yeah, I feel it.
Mate, we cannot do anything against them that's going to slow them down.
Mate, don't slow down.
Well then, mate, where do we go? I'm not seeing a whole lot of options here.
Yeah, let's leap.
What do you mean leap? Where are we going to leap to? Mate, what?
Straight ahead.
Mate, what are you doing?
Oh, you did set.
Okay, let's get a dexterity roll just for curiosity's sake from
M8.
That's
cute. Uh-oh. That's cool that you would bring that up.
Dexterity. Fun.
It's not a face.
That's very middling.
Well, you know what? It wasn't going to be pretty. This is not,
So there was the thin, dangerous ledge off to the left, which you could have snuck along.
Yeah,
but again, that would have slowed you down to the point where the jellies would have come into the room behind you. So, leap of faith it is. And with a Dr. Z still in tow, M8 gets a little bit of a run up and just leaps forward into the darkness. The glow of Dr. Z sort of illuminating only like a few meters ahead of you, so you don't really see much.
Zafrey Elektra! Brace for the spin maneuver! That's it!
So as M8 takes this leap, the immediate few meters around you illuminated by the bioluminescent glow from Dr. Z, you leap off and just hover in the darkness. And because this is a very low gravity area, you'd fly through the air a little slower than normal, although again, M8 is very dense and heavy, so you're still plummeting a little bit as the cliff face behind you sort of plummets.
The bastards love holes, okay? You can't keep us away from a hole.
You can't.
I mean,
Can't
I
keep
wasn't
us
going to
out
say
of
it,
the
but
hole.
this feels like a Taylor MO.
I'm saying if we had a video game and if a player ever saw a hole, gotta jump in.
Better go in. There's
You gotta
That's
Alice
a
in
quest.
Wonderland it. You gotta figure it out.
9 times out of 10, there's like an extra life.
There's an
down
extra
that hole.
adventure down that hole.
or a death that you'll find quickly.
the ultimate adventure?
And so as you leap and you're falling and you get the vainly lit walls around you, the ledge, vanishing from up above, you're falling down, but you're only falling for 1 second before landing heavily
What?
on the 2 solid, dense feet of M8. You land and stop and sway as Dr. Z is just spun around and put down in front. And as you look down, you see that you are now standing on not a very big stone pillar. There is a stone pillar jutting up from the ground far below. And if you look back, you can see the lights, the red light from those 5 jellies approaching out into this open space up above you on that cliff.
No.
But you've landed down on a stone pillar. There's only a couple meters around. The chances of you landing on this thing, kind of small.
I
but
immediately
you did.
do a telepathy to try and shield our mind, my mind at least.
All right, give me a telepathy roll.
Oh, it's only a 7.
Oh,
Fuck, it's not
shit.
enough. The chase continues.
As they come out into there, looking around, and you hear the pirate captain. Where they gone? They just vanished.
Quiet, you fool. Let us look for them.
I'm gonna roll telepathy.
Oh, shite. I'm wetting me decks.
My deck's wet.
And not the good
But
kind.
I've only rolled an 8.
Wow.
Oh,
As
the dice have
Z
spoken.
can feel that scanning presence of the telepathy of the song of the 5 red jellies, but it's mainly passing above you, as though they couldn't have imagined that, yeah, if you'd leapt down, you're dead. They can't see anything down there. You guys certainly couldn't see anything down there. It's just kind of flying over your head as they're searching about. And you see the glow getting brighter as the jellies float up to the edge of the cliff. And you can see silhouetted in the red glow the pirate with their rifle aiming about, looking nervous. You can see the pirate starts edging their way along along the ledge that you guys avoided, just narrowly and definitely kicking stones down to sort of
Good
clatter
stuff.
down past you as the jellies hover about up there. And it's while all this is happening, the two of you are keeping quite quiet, that you hear another noise. Not from up above where they are,
no.
but from below. You hear a tick, 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 like kind of small,
No.
spindly metal legs just tapping their way up the sides of the cliff. And as you're here in this darkness and you're listening a little closer, it sounds like there are multiple figures climbing up the wall from beneath.
Fuck.
Hey, mate. Hey, mate, do you hear that?
Zafrey Elektra. Yeah, that you
Hey, mate, that is not me.
did say.
Hey, mate.
I'm just gonna lean over the pillar and look down.
So as you
Do I need to
look
roll a
down
perception?
off the pillar. Yeah, give me perception just to see how well you can see anything, because you're in the
Yeah.
dark.
Oh my glob.
4.
That's a 4.
Come on.
So you look down and you can't really see much of anything. You can see like bits of dust and dirt falling down from above where the pirate captain is cursing and just edging fearfully along the ledge around up above you. The jellies are sort of floating and almost storming back and forth as they're searching for you with their minds. Every now and then one just juts out right over the edge, hovers about there and then back out to safety. And all the while that quiet tick, 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 tick up the walls you can hear getting closer and closer.
Hey, mate, I can't see it, but can you see it?
See what?
Do you hear it?
Searching. M8. Amplify.
I'm gonna have a look as well.
Or
Let's see. Let's see what we can perceive.
That voice is such 90s RPG, you know.
Stay a while and listen. Stay
Well,
a while and glisten.
Tay is rolling
Nice.
16 there.
Very
Yeah,
good.
I'm seeing it,
Seeing
David.
it.
I just want you
M8
guys to remember I amplified before I looked, right? This is just like on CSI. Zoom in.
Zoom in.
So as M8 peeks over the edge of the pillar that you're standing on, they can see these forms.
What?
And there are dozens of them
Dozens?
crawling up the cliff face in front of you. They're not crawling the pillar. When you look down, there doesn't seem to be anything coming up the pillar, but they're crawling up the cliff face towards the jellies and the captain. And as they come up to your own level, even Z can see them now. And they are strange, almost insectoid synths.
What?
They have like sort of, these needle-like metal arms and legs, but their bodies, again, much like the angel, have petrified wood and rocks and just bits of organic matter and scavenged goods. And they are slowly, very quietly, climbing up the walls towards your enemies.
And you're saying that I see it now as well?
You can see them now as well as they come up to your own height.
Zafrey Elektra.
M8, have you ever seen anything like this?
More friends.
Do you think they're friends?
Yeah, nah. Yeah. It is mint. So many. Here they come. Not coming here.
And then that? I think you are correct.
So I'm thinking if they're going up and they're trying to like silently approach the pirate and the 5 jellies, then maybe we create a distraction and help them.
I mean, that's brave.
M8,
M8.
are you sure that they are friends?
Zafrey Elektra. Look at them. Like the angel. They know the code.
Well, what I'm about to suggest might be the stupidest thing I've ever done, and I did try to run away from the song. I'm thinking maybe we put your laser light on and we draw attention to the jellies and to the pirate captain that we're here, and we give your friends a chance to have a little surprise moment.
Nah. The laser. M8 can do the laser. M8 laser. M8 laser. Laser now. M8 laser.
Right. I'll pull out my own little laser with the new arm, the M8 arm.
Double laser.
All right, are you ready?
You know what?
What?
They say a laser is stronger if you cross them.
You know what? I've never heard that, but we could try it.
They say.
They say it? They who's they?
They say.
Oh, right, okay. What?
Searching. M8 is searching. But, it is, they say.
No reception. Okay.
No reception.
Someone said it, I'm sure.
Not enough bars. not enough bars,
I
mate.
will unleash the energy sword and cross blades with, or cross streams with M8's laser.
As suddenly just a light show
X
erupts
marks
from the
the
middle,
spot,
suddenly
bitches.
illuminating the
Here's
pillar.
the
There's your
treasure.
fucking treasure, you kids.
Here's your fucking treasure, you teenies.
As suddenly the jellies rush up to the edge, looking straight down at you, the captain kicking some more stones down as he's getting his rifle in order and swaying it around. There they are!
Yeah, there we are.
Right. You're not getting
Lasers.
away this time as the pirate
Yeah, we're not.
lifts up the rifle, lining up the shot, ready to shoot just dead center at the two of you. And you can't do a lot of dodging here on this pillar. As he is lining up this shot, right at the screaming lunatics down below, that the strange synths strike. One of them just coming over the ledge and hurling the captain down below.
What?
He pulls out his rifle, but he is on this tiny little thin ledge. So as soon as his feet are taking out front of him, he's like, what?
He's Palpatine's right there in front of us?
And just falls down, vanishing into the darkness. The jellies,
Good
for
on
their
you,
part, are launching straight into action as they back away from the edge of the cliff, right as another 5 of these synths just come, hurling over the edge, lunging at them. One of the jellies immediately is sort of struck in the water, and you can see like a telekinetic shield sort of holding up. There's sparks flying as this needle-like leg is just striking at the bubble. Meanwhile, Z can sense, once again, like these telepathic attacks as one of the synths coming over the edge is immediately shut down again, much like the angel was, and just plummets and vanishes down below as well. But the jellies are being overwhelmed as they keep coming over the edges. And you can see the one
Holy
jelly
heck.
who's sort of holding back the brunt of the attacks with the telepathic forces. You can see the bubble is slowly being penetrated.
Wow.
And as the other jellies just back off suddenly, that one jelly is swarmed under, and you can't really see much more as the bubble is penetrated. And one of those spikes, those spikes goes right in through the middle, and the song in an instant
Wow.
is diminished by one voice.
Wow.
And the red light fades as the jellies flee back out of the corridor, as you see hordes of these synths coming over the edges and chasing.
Zafrey, friends, hear the code.
I believe you have a lot of friends here.
Nah, mate, us. Dead set.
Holy
Zafrey
heck.
Elektra and M8 lasers. Friends.
Lasers.
You had 6 people to deal with, now you've only got 4.
Wow.
We're getting there. We're getting there. One by one.
That was epic. That was... Whoa.
We're getting
okay.
help.
So Z feels a wave of relief that the song has dissipated.
A wampus.
But...
that was not...
That was something.
Anyway.
But that sight was
Off cuts.
terrifying. And so Zafrey doesn't sheath the energy blade. Zafrey holds out M8's strong arm that has been built and holds the energy blade and keeps it ignited while watching to see what happens next.
So,
That's fair.
what seemed like hordes of synths sort of pouring up over the cliff, it sort of ends almost as quickly as it began. You realize there wasn't that many of them. It was maybe 20 or so.
That's
Not much.
enough.
We're 2. So 10 times.
That's enough
But-
spider needles
Yeah.
for me.
You hear the curses and screams of the jellies as they're floating away, and the red fades down the path and around the corner until it's almost completely gone. You just hear the
Oh my
of the
god, that
synths
gave me
giving
a chill.
chase. And then that noise sort of fades away. And the two of you are left standing on this pillar in the dark.
Okay, I immediately wave the blade around, looking over the edge of the pillar, being like,
Where did they go? M8, did they just... Okay, where are they coming from next? Where's the next attack?
Scanning. They're gone.
You mean they're gone, M8? They can't just be gone. We were just surrounded by all sides, and we had enemies above us, enemies below us, we had friends around us apparently, and they're just gone?
They're gone.
As you do sort of wave the glow of your energy blade over the edge, you can see the wall opposite that those synths climbed isn't a completely smooth sheer face. In fact, it looks as though they were climbing with little handholds,
what?
almost like ladders that have been carved up these walls. And although they had like, these pointy little pincery things, it seemed like they actually weren't just climbing the walls with their own synthetic anatomy, but they were actually climbing up these ladder-like steps and handholds chopped into the walls. But as you look down the pillar, you can see similar handholds going down the face of it, down below.
They're gone. They're gone, mate.
I do not think that anyone is gone just yet until we're off this rock.
M8 think we should be gone too. Look there. The way down. Like them. Down there.
Hover the energy blade over this ladder type area. Sheath it.
M8, I agree. Let's get off this rock.
To look at it, it's clearly something that Z cannot navigate. Z has one limb and tank treads. Like, Z can't climb down this ladder. But M8, on the other hand, like little dense little digits, can probably quite easily hang into these holes and just ding down the side. Maybe not quite as swiftly as the weird needle spider synths, but it looks doable.
Is the gravity situation similar in here as it was out there?
Yes, you're still on the same rock, so like the gravity it's still very low. You can fall from quite a high distance and not get completely flattened. Z is in a bad way. Like, Z might not survive any sort of fall whatsoever, but M8 could probably
cool.
take quite a fall with this gravity.
Cool.
M8 is gonna turn on Dr. Z.
M8, continue scan. Full readout. Scan, readout. Zafrey Elektra. Damage.
Yes.
Yes,
it's
Devo.
No, it's not good.
We have to get down. Not you. Not like this. M8. Pack away.
What?
Just for now. Pack away.
What do you mean, M8? What's your plans here?
M8 is gonna get the rope and just start like going around. This is a very mechanical situation, just going
This is
around.
what Boy Scouts
like a
was
bobbin. And I'm gonna rope Zafrey
Oh my god, there's
to myself.
a Rule 34 out there somewhere of Dr. Z like in a hibiki just fucking like, oh, I can't be answered. I'm yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I'm whatever. I said hibiki. I don't know what it's called, but like tied up, like oh.
This is that like arm.
Yeah, like oh no, I'm so helpless.
A takate kote, I believe. He's only got one arm,
Yeah,
though.
it's like,
so
oh my god, my one strong arm.
Can you imagine? That is some like absolute Bob's Burgers bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I've only got one arm like crisscrossed, but I can't get out. That's some Tina shit.
Exactly.
I'm trapped.
Oh, no,
I'm
have your way
trapped,
with
but
me.
So we've got like a strapped onto the back kind of situation.
This is a lot like a bottle rocket. This is how you would carry a baby.
Oh, it feels like, like kind of like tandem skydiving as well.
People do this with babies all the time.
And they swaddle them. Okay, so Z lashed onto M8's back.
Classic bottle rocket
Bottle
wrap
rocket.
for a
Wrap,
baby.
wrap. So he's got like wrap, tuck. Good enough.
Yeah. M8
Hey, that
can
works.
carry it.
Heavy lifter. That's it.
I mean, Z is balloony in this gravity, luckily. It's quite easy to carry.
And I'm going to climb down.
All right.
See how that goes.
So M8 come over the edge and get into those footholds, and luckily in the super low gravity, Z doesn't really upset the balance. Come down, and you can see that these hand and footholds, they're well positioned. Once you've found a few of them, you realize that they have been spaced out in really even increments. It becomes quite predictable how to climb down, but just hanging on to this sheer cliff face does start becoming a matter of endurance.
Oh, no.
Go down the meters into the dark until up above you can no longer even see any sort of signs of the light that comes in from above. And still you're climbing down, just illuminated by the bioluminescence of Z and his energy blade. What we need is a durability check to make sure you can actually hang on.
Wow.
all the way down.
Fair dinkum.
I'm nervous.
as well. Come on, don't drop me.
Because you know what? You know what would really suck? If I fell backwards and smashed you to
Yeah, that would suck.
Well, we know that can't
That
possibly
couldn't
happen
possibly
because
happen.
Z exists in the future. So don't roll that.
Nice.
18. Not today.
I mean, this is something that M8 is actually pretty good at. M8, if nothing else, is durable. And so
Yeah,
it takes you a few minutes. It takes you like a good while of just constantly climbing down this ladder as you're descending down deeper into the depths of this rock that you're on.
That's fine.
But eventually, M8 hits solid ground, and you realize you have reached the bottom.
What?
And as you turn about and take a step away from the pillar, off aside there's the other ladders all around the strange curved cliff. Those other little synths climbed up to attack the jellies. But you can also see just a very, very faint light. A fluorescent blue that just on and off of wavers. Just around to the far end, away from the path you came.
Wow.
M8,
Yeah, nah.
could I be let down now, please?
Zafrey Elektra. Brace for spin maneuver.
Oh, no, no. Oh,
We're kind of spinning topping this.
Bobbin. That's the most efficient way to unwind a string.
Bobbin style. I might need a durability check for Z just to see if he's getting dizzy.
From Z. From Z.
From Z. I mean, M8 is a synth. M8 can spin around for days and never
Durability?
get dizzy or nauseous or
that's
anything.
negative.
M8
That's beautiful.
yeah, durability.
Oh no, are you
I
gonna
might
throw up?
up?
I might throw up.
We've got an
I
11.
throwed up.
We're all
I
right.
throwed up a little bit.
So as you're spinning and Z is getting hurled about inside the fishbowl, hanging on like, oh, and then until finally, ka-jink, drops onto the ground. There's the last bits of rope you have to kick your way out of because once it loosened to a certain point, you just sort of fell apart. And it's just a little dizzy, a little bit disoriented. Z is unlashed from M8's back.
Yeah, nah, yeah. M8 collect the cord. Collect the cord. Wind the cord.
I think for future times, M8, we need to maybe have an easier way of getting off one's back, because...
Yeah, that's going on.
That could have ended badly, M8.
Nah, yeah. Like a smash.
M8, I'm going to see if I can fix that hole you've got. One moment.
Go
Still
off.
can't do it. 2.
A ding.
Another 2.
Still
Yeah,
rolling
it's the
a
same
2
2
again. So again, Z's just sort of like moving around the patches at this point.
Oh, M8, I am sorry. I cannot seem to understand this.
Should be right. M8 feels great. But Zafrey Elektra, the light.
Right. Well, let's get us over and done with, M8. We need to get out of here. We need to get out of here quickly, and I would rather go towards this blue light than that red one.
That's it.
No, M8, back there. The, how did you know to trust them?
Zafrey, friends.
Yeah, but they didn't say anything, they didn't do anything, they just simply walked past. How did you know?
They did. They know the code. You can't hear the code.
See, this is the thing. Those red jellies knew the song, but I couldn't automatically trust them.
Nah. Code is not a song. Not like that. Song is bad. Sounds bad. Nah. Code. It's code.
It worked out this time, and I'm glad it did. But, is it that you... Well, heck, I guess you did it with his as well. Very trusting, M8.
Yeah, nah.
So as you slink your way down, you see that the blue light is coming from what is essentially a corridor, and it is actually carved a perfectly square exit out of this chamber. And suddenly you're sort of moving down a squared off, cleaned out, there's no debris in the way this way, towards this pulsing blue light. And you quickly discover as you walk down this long, slightly curved but squared off path that the blue light is actually just coming from a light, this little blue light inside a metal cage affixed to the side of the wall. And once you reach that light, you see a further blue light up ahead of you as they are spaced out along this passageway.
Well, I guess we're just doing a game of follow the light at this point.
So you do. You follow the light down this corridor, and it takes a little while. There's a few minutes of you walking, and you realize that at this point, you may very well find your way. You can't tell which direction you're heading, but there's inclines. Sometimes you're going up, sometimes you're going down. You're not sure whether you've gone more up than down, but you're going quite far away from this initial factory that got you into these tunnels. And then, in addition to the blue lights on the walls, you start seeing white, a really clean, unwavering white light ahead. And eventually that white light becomes a sliver of a doorway on the left-hand side of the path up ahead. And as it gets bigger and brighter, and you can see the walls now, the walls are just these flat, carved-out chunks of stone, that same sort of greeny grey and rusty red swirls that make up the celestial body. And you see there is an open doorway up ahead. It looks as though the corridor just ends, and there's just a doorway on your left. But the door is open a crack, and there is a bright white light coming through it.
I feel like I should do a quick telepathy to see how we're doing around here.
M8 doesn't really understand how it
This
works.
is 21.
M8's just like,
Zafrey, put a cord to see.
Good idea, mate. I will.
So Z reaches out telepathically. You're so far away that you can't tell what's going on with those other synths and the jellies. But down here, through the door, you do sense just one mind. And again, it is a strange, digital, static brainwaves.
I immediately translate it.
Hey, mate. One for you.
So once again, when M8 catches this, it sounds like what thinking feels like. Because it's being patched through Z's interpretation of it, it doesn't come through as any sort of usable code. It just feels or sounds the way that thinking feels. Like there is another one of these synths with the brainwaves up ahead.
brain synth.
Okay. And still not feeling comfortable with the whole situation yet. I will walk through the door first, but again have the energy blade drawn. Walking through.
So as you open the door the rest of the way and step out, you're greeted by a big, wide open space. It's a room, almost like a big, giant warehouse. But there's light everywhere, and just different colored lights. And you can see that this place is full of the same little discs, the holographic projectors that you saw back at the Angel's cabin. And it's just carnage and chaos, as you can see. In one corner there's a great digital grandfather clock. In the other there's like neon lights that's just like moving about and rotating in the air around you. There's furniture, there's items, there's toys, there's like little animated things moving about. There's just so much color, and you realize that what seemed like a pure white light was actually just a mix of this crazy vibrancy all around. And as you sort of start adjusting to what you can see, this colorful neon playground, you start seeing like little things that aren't holograms. This little sort of carved out spaces like benches and chairs just made out of rock and rubble and bits of trash. And you can see that dozens of these little spaces have been carved out amongst this strange holographic playland, presumably little seats and living spots for all the synths that you saw clamber up the walls before.
M8. M8, do you understand anything that's happening in here? Oh, this is naughty. This is everything all at once.
M8 walks into the room with like arms out, just looking around.
As you step in, you are spotting all these little inclinations and spaces for little synths to hide out. And as you get in and start stepping through the holograms and finding your way through the chaos, there are little bits of wall like dividers, and you can see that this warehouse is at least partially divided off into smaller spaces, but it is mostly quite wide open. And those little dividers, they don't go all the way up to the height of the cavernous ceilings. And in fact, you could probably, with a little bit of a jump and a hoist, you could look over them. So they're not really, doesn't look like these synths have proper privacy. That's not really what they're about. They're living together in this weird playland together. As you start finding your way through the holograms, you can see that almost what could be described as the shrine-like thing. Towards the center of the room, the holograms stop being as chaotic, and you can see there's a lot more pure white things like a neon chef's hat. There's a white, almost porcelain park bench. There's flickers every now and then. And building towards the center, the holograms sort of getting taller until eventually they sort of snake up, and you can see in the middle of the room, built up into almost a pillar, like a carved Greek pillar, but made up of, there's the head of a horse, there's the back end of a car, there's little moving things, little white chickens sort of dancing about. It is just everyday objects stacked up, forming this pillar in the middle of the room. And it's comprised purely of light, of holographic imagery. And as such, you could step into the center of it and see what's contained within.
I feel like M8 is just rolling towards it.
I reach out towards M8 as I see M8 roll into it, being like,
M8, wait!
and then just follow M8 into it.
So as you walk through this light, this pure white light filling your eyes, and all your sensory organs and digital input devices, as you step through the wall of hologram. And once you get inside, you're standing inside a hollow, and it's similar to the outside. It's made up of all these other pieces. And inside there, you can finally just see the plain stone ground and a roughly hewn, just a boulder of the same swirling rock that this place is made of, in the middle of this hollow. Only a few meters around, but enough room for the two of you to stand inside there. And on that boulder in the center is sitting a very archaic-looking, hacked-off, synthetic head.
Shock faces all around, basically. Sorry.
I know. I'm just sitting here with my mouth open.
Imagine the audio version of mouth open.
Mouth open, noise. Okay, first of all, this is so... I'm walking through the room. I am walking through the room myself. I try
to keep up with M8, trying to pull the shoulder.
And it's so beautiful. It's so, like, I don't know what the word is, but it's just like, it's so charming. That sounds like a really patronizing word for this, but
I think charming
it's like
feels
so
good. Yeah?
charming how they've made this place. And that's what we know about synths, right? Like, we know that they value their, art and their territory.
I'm starting to figure out where Z got his collections from.
Yeah, we know they value that stuff. We know that they value fighting to protect their agency, and we know that they value making art, and we know that they value their space. And this is all of that stuff at once, right? Like, this is their space in their image with their art, and they are passionate about protecting it. And we saw that. We saw the Spider Needle people come out, and they did that. And now we're in here and like the chickens.
The chickens.
The chickens, man. The chickens. It's just like I'm trying to hold it together. It's so beautiful. This is like a pure thing. This is their space. We're in it, and they let us come in here, which is big. And now here's this head.
Just a head sitting on a funny little rough altar. Like once you're inside, the grand light, you remember like this planet doesn't have a lot of resources. The synths that were made here aren't even all made of metal.
Well, as Z wheels in behind M8, seeing the chicken, seeing the car turn into a horse, turn into a bust of some statue, seeing them all merge together, the energy blade slowly slips back into its sheath, and just as looking at everything, looking at how organized and how chaotic and how everything's here all at once, but nothing is.
It looks like chaos at a first glance, but then you start realizing that each person has their own little space that's been carved out and their own flavor. And then the central thing with them just stacked all the white stuff into this great celebration, this big pillar that's just containing this one severed synthetic head just sitting on a block.
M8. What is this massive collection?
M8 never seen anything like this, mate.
I also have never seen anything like this.
The systems, the collections, art, a space.
It doesn't seem to head in any direction. I'm forgetting we're in danger. M8. We are still in danger. We must leave. We must get out of here.
Danger? How? Yeah, nah, they ain't danger. The jellies. But in here, nah, mate, the jellies, they can. This is the space. They let us in.
I'm going to do another telepathy now, then, and kind of focus towards the head.
Yes.
Oh, it's only an 11. It's not good.
But as you reach out, you very quickly surmise that the brainwaves you have been reading have indeed been coming from this severed head. Although there's no light in the eyes, it's not moving, it's not doing anything, still those brainwaves are there. This idle...
I'm reading something.
Pass it over.
Do you understand any of this?
So as far as M8 is concerned, it's much the same as before. It's like a synth's thinking, except translated into brainwaves, translated back into sounds that have been sent to M8. So as such, it's not code, it's not the way M8's brain works, but it sounds like the way M8's brain works.
Is there anything like discernible to pull from it?
Not at all discernible to pull from it. You can't get any useful information out of it as far as you're aware.
Are there any ports or connective inputs on the head?
So the head doesn't have any like straight up ports that you can see, but there are some loose wires hanging out the neck.
I'm gonna connect to one.
Oh,
let's have an engineering
I love
roll.
the idea.
It's hecker man.
Do it. Oh, it's a 12.
Yes.
So M8 comes in, I guess pulling out a cable, opening up a thing, and a little rollout cable, popping off the end of it, getting out some of the wires, mixing them together, and sort of like getting them to join up with those wires sticking out of the strange, archaic synth head, synth skull. And then almost hot wiring it with their own power source. Looking up to this synth head to sort of get in there and have a look at it. M8 immediately does discover there's a protocol, like a firewall, basically preventing M8 from just getting straight into the synthetic brain. as would be the case with trying to interface with any other synth. It doesn't feel like anything particularly different to interfacing with other synths. But before M8 even has a chance to decide what to do with that, the eyes flicker on the skull on the bench in front of you, lighting up, an expression sort of forming on this kind of elongated, it's almost close to being a human-shaped head.
Wow.
This synthetic.
They mad?
The two eyes lighting up. And you hear these jittering, stuttering noises coming from the voice modulator.
I'm still here. Who are you?
M8. Mark 2. But 1. First and last of my name.
Oh wow, they're still making you.
M8 is the only one.
What? Apologies, I don't mean you, M8. I mean the old model. The old brain. My first children. I'm sorry. It's a big thing to hit you with, but I'm the originator.
Holy shit! What? Oh yeah! The originator! And that
Holy shit, Dickie!
is where we'll end the episode.
What a
That
fucking
fucked really
adventure
hard.
you've taken
Oh
us
my
on
God.
today. Holy heck.
The robot room has like ruined
Robot
my
Room
life.
was pretty
It's so
intense. I
beautiful.
loved it. I thought it was great.
I want to live there. I feel like I've never been where we just
I know,
went.
that was such a brilliant idea.
I went somewhere my brain has never been.
You know the movie Lost
Yes.
Boys?
Yeah.
Okay, imagine like their hideout, but they're
Yeah.
robots and they've got like these like
I mean,
projectors
it's
instead.
brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I love it.
That's kind of my
But I felt
kind of
it.
my
Felt it also, Taylor. It was
my
really
go-to
good.
I was dying. I was
because
like,
they
"We're in
are
this
they're
fucking place."
Lost Boys sort of
Oh
maybe.
my God. They're living their fucking best lives.
the best of it.
Dickie, that was a brilliant episode. Enjoyed all of the places you took us. You took us from horizontal to deep down underground to horizontal again and to heaven landscapes. It was incredible. Was there anything you didn't get to touch on? Was there something that you enjoyed the most? How did you feel the episode went?
I had a great time with it. I wasn't sure like what you guys were going to do once I thought, okay, I'm going to put an obstacle in front of you. Interestingly, the pillar was always there. I was going to have like a series of pillars you guys could jump along potentially. The timings of the story and stuff didn't work out in that way.
Wow.
Dang.
But I was basically I wanted to either have you guys like sort of find some pillars you could jump along, which would have sort of happened if you'd followed the ledge around.
Okay. The ledge. Yeah. I mean, it was there.
It was.
But like I wanted to sort of have like ramp up the intensity by having all these synths start coming up the walls. But because you guys ended up like hiding in this pillar in the middle, it completely changed the narrative of that. It's like, okay, well, those synths are still going to come. Like I got them primed and ready. They're the next part of this. So I guess they're going to attack your enemies now.
That
Like,
was
this is-
cinematic as fuck.
That was so
so
cool.
cool.
That was so cool. That was so cool. That was
Mm.
such a moment. God.
rather than
There
there
were
being
so
some
many
sort
good
of
moments in
direct
this.
confrontation between you and them, because they're like, no, go for the guy with the gun, go for the fucking, this weird, scary, floaty things that have deactivated some of us with their
Yeah.
minds.
And
Like,
so, did you expect the captain, this character that has been built up, to go out that quickly?
oh, not even close. Like, once I put him on the ledge and once I brought the things up the wall, I was like, I've killed him. I've killed the captain. He's like dead man
Yeah.
walking, you know? Because no matter what, he's on this thin little ledge in the middle of trying to take a shot. Like, he's
And what
screwed.
about the angel? We started off our cold open with the angel being attacked. How was that? Did you expect to open up an episode with Angel dying, or was
I mean, that was a much more like, I just realized, like, especially in the cold, like, we've had the Jellies show up. We don't know anything about them. We need to establish them as a threat. So
threat
yeah.
established? Threat level definitely established there.
And given like the whole thing, you know, with the Jellies is mostly about telepathy, I could have them kill Z, but you know, Z's got to stay alive. He's in a flashback right now.
Sadly, yes.
They can't telepathize M8, but for these weird Mark II synths with their brainwaves, they're susceptible to telepathy, and they've got no real sort of defense system against it because they've never come across it.
Girl.
Well, I love it. I love that in first episode we had like Z is fresh out of it, so Z is still kind of aggressive and did a thing. And then in episode 2, Z sees through M8 that shit can be different and that you can be like your own leader. And then in episode 3, what we've just recorded, Z starts to see that Z is scared and is fleeing and has to like rely on M8 to do stuff. And then we'll see what happens in episode 4.
But we're also ending like with this whole like sort of seeing like what carving out a space for yourself looks like, what finding your places. Well, my goodness. Thank you guys. We made it to the end of the episode. Thank you to the listeners for listening to the end of the episode and for listening to us at all. Because I mean, it blows my mind that we got listeners and we got a constantly growing listening base.
Oh, we've got to expand the song.
Help us invade more ears.
5 stars on iTunes.
Yes.
Wherever you listen to your podcasts, please.
Even if you need to carve it into the stone of the pavement outside of your mother's house.
That is an acceptable solution.
And if you just sold a bunch of stuff on Craigslist,
You got too much cash.
some dodgy guy, and he gave you a bunch of cash, and you just got all this cash, and you're like holding this big wad of cash, and you're like, I got too much cash. You could always, I guess you'd have to take that cash and put it in the bank first, or maybe like, and then you've got a digital. Then you can like, you could like send it to PayPal, and then you could go to Patreon, and you could become a patron of us, and help keep us on the air. I mean. Or not. It's completely free. You can listen to this all you want.
Cash.
But if you're a patron, you can listen to some extra stuff too. We got another podcast where we just chew the fat.
It's us hanging out before and after episodes. Yeah, we call it Sidearm. You can listen to that for the price of a fancy fruit each month. You can get access to that. And also to Ralaran. It's where we cut our teeth on this whole podcasting game.
Yeah.
Where we did a fantasy campaign with Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition.
We done played D&D and
Yeah.
you know.
It was with DM Dick's homebrew rules and story. Nothing the bastards do is what's it called?
From a kit set?
From a kit set, yeah, from a kit bash. Like, we still make it our own, and that is what Ralaran was. So you can listen to Baron Debauch, Hakes Masath, Blaznak, and Cedric the Clerical Clerk adventure through Ralaran on the Patreon.
And it's very much you can find the genesis of a lot of things that are going in the modern incarnation of the Backwater Bastards back in those ancient
That was definitely
tomes.
where I created Cleo in Backwater Bystanders.
Yes.
I mean, a bunch of you already are patrons, and I've just got to say thanks. And also that I'm not going to sing a song today because it's midnight, and I've been waking up my neighbors. I get a bit into it, and it's getting quite long.
It's getting long because so many of you, which is amazing, though.
So I guess what I'm saying is Dr. Z has come in, and he has broken the song.
Oh, we've broken the song.
I am sorry for any patrons that look forward to that song each week, but I'm done with it. I can't stop.
We are getting in trouble with the law.
So instead, I'm just going to say a heartfelt thanks to all of you. You legitimately are helping us stay on the airwaves.
It means the world to us. The three of us, little idiots who started this show a long time ago, and we still continue it. It means the world to be able to stay on the airwaves with your help and with your support and with your ear holes listening to our silly stories.
We love you.
So I guess with all that said and done, all that's really left to say is bye.
Bye.
And the outro.
Tune in next time for another edge of your seat adventure in space with the Backwater Bastards.
If you enjoy listening, but also have eyes, check out our Instagram, where we post drawings, illustrations, character art from our adventures. Backwater_Bastards. Check out our Instagram on Instagram.
Well, we've just got the last dregs of all the bottles left now, so what did old mate call it? 10 top. I guess we'll just all share this last 10 top.
Really? We're just gonna start putting everything together in one.
Just pass it around.
We don't really have much choice now. Look, I'm gonna pour them all. Oh, it doesn't look so bad. Let's give it a little.
Wow, that's...
You're gonna have to give this a go. I don't know about this.
It's
This
strong.
might be the best drink I've ever tasted.
Oh, that is,
I didn't expect it.
it's not sour, it's not sweet, but it's
It's like kind of sweaty.
it feels oily, but,
It's like walking through a cloud of noxious
come on,
gas.
mates. Let's just enjoy it. This might be the last drink we ever take.
cheers.
Cheers to that.